This week, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu inaugurated the committee ahead of the much-anticipated National Youth Conference. The Confab is supposed to bring together Nigerian youth to brainstorm the ways forward, giving young Nigerians in their millions an opportunity to decide their future, or at least that is what the administration wants them to believe. Here with us in the studio is the President of the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, Atiku Isah, is here to provide some context as to what this development means for Nigerian youths going forward. As always, a pleasure to have you join us on the program. First things first, I must clarify, get your clarification on this one, because it seems to be a recurring thing with NANS. There is always either 2 presidents, 3 presidents, or so. What's the situation right now? Because some would say you're the factional president of NANS.
That would be erroneous for anybody to refer to me as the factional president. I am the authentic national president of the National Association of Nigerian Students. There is a unique history in NANS. Comrade Umar Barambu handed over to Comrade Pedro Obi. Pedro Obi handed over to me. So anybody laying claim, and at this moment, it is the turn of the North Central. So I am from North Central. I contested in the presence of security operatives, won my election, and then if anybody is claiming, we will know how to deal with the situation at the right time.
Right. Interestingly, this is the first time I'm hearing that there is a rotational type of situation there. But let's get back to the crux of the matter, the National Youth Conference, the Confab. The Tinubu administration wants to make a big deal about this. When the president made that nationwide broadcast, he wants to give Nigerian youths a voice, a place in the society where they can not just air their views, but have a say in how some of these issues are addressed. There are so many people on different sides about this one. Where do you stand on what the administration is trying to do?
Well, Mr. President, like I said earlier today, made a very big mistake. And we will not support the wastage of Nigerian resources, because many committees in the past were inaugurated. The outcome of those committees were never implemented. It is an avenue for the Ministry of Youth or Commission, whatever you call it, for them to divert monies that should be meant for developmental projects, which we are kicking against it. As at this moment, we will not participate. That is the decision of the National Association of Nigerian Students for many reasons. Aside that, there are so many things, and that's the reason why some persons in government are bringing somebody to challenge our authority because of things like this.
Okay, we're going to get down to the details of why you oppose the youth conference and what it means for Nigerian youth. First, let's hear from the man who introduced Nigerians to the idea, the president, speaking at the inauguration of that presidential committee that will organize the National Youth Conference. The president's thoughts.
I've listened to you carefully. Today is not for long speeches. I just want to reassure you that you are the hope of this country. Everything hangs in your future. Every decision that I've taken, it's about you. It's about tomorrow. When you remove all subsidy, you are protecting the future of generations yet unborn, the youths. Where is the investment for the infrastructure? When you listen the majority of the professionals saying with Japa, they means Nigeria, they leave Nigeria. It's because if you grow prosperity back home and you empower people, they would not.
For so many, that is quite the noble messaging. But why does NANS think that Nigerians shouldn't take the president's message seriously?
Because it is going to be a wastage of Nigerians' resources. Committees that were formed and deliberated on same issues before, submitted report. Why don't you use the report?
Some would say under a different administration.
It is a government is a continuous thing.
Yeah, but ideas vary, isn't it?
The ideas, eminent personalities sat, deliberated, and came up with resolutions.
Yeah, but this is
why
the first
constituting another committee.
This is the first ever youth conference in this country, sponsored by the government.
No. What you should understand is just a change of name. Change of name does not mean that the idea is different. The idea is the same. What we are saying is that we know the problems and we know the solution. What is lacking is the political will. And once the political will is not there, I want to tell you this. By 2026, 2027, Nigerians will agree with me that it is just meant, it's an avenue for those in the youth ministry or youth commission to divert resources meant for us. I do not want to believe that Mr. President knows what they are doing, because if he knows, I think as a Democrat, he would not approve of that. But it is headed by the permanent secretary in the ministry. These are the same set of people that have put us in the situation that we are today. So why allowing these people to head committees that will deliberate on the affairs of the youth? So
you hear the president talk about how the tough policy decisions that his administration is taking is to preserve the future, to guarantee a future for Nigerians. And you're saying you don't believe that his administration is going to do anything different from what has happened in the past. What is informing your disbelief in the president's messaging?
Yes, it is. Let me be very emphatic here. The president is sitting in villa under air condition. Why we move about, we know the situation of things in the country. As at today, while I was leaving my school, coming to Abuja, I saw military personnel collecting money from vehicles. This has never happened in the, before. It used to be police officers, but now not only collecting money, they give change. So with all of this, the president does not know. We know what is happening. The situation, the dysfunctional education system, everything. You see, as you move along the road, or you have vigilante on the road, you have policemen on the road, you have military men on the road, all of them are collecting money. And they are not only extorting, if you don't give, you can't go. And so this is not a roadblock. But this is the situation of the things in the country. He doesn't know what is happening. Yeah. We are the ones. So all of these things cannot even work.
Right. You as NANS president, correct me if I'm wrong, Atiku Isah, you are saying that you know more about what's happening in Nigeria than the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
By far, because we are on the street. We meet with the people, the suffering Nigerians. We discuss with them. My classmates can't pay school fees. They barely eat well. Before we wrote the exam, my lecturer, a doctor of law, told us that when he was about to mark a script, one of the students, one of the best students, came to him and told him that, "Sir, I do not know whether I will pass your course. The reason being that for 3 days I have not eaten. And while in the exam hall, I don't know what I wrote." The lecturer confirmed to us that he was one of the best students. And based on that, he felt, he became emotional about the situation. This is the situation of the things in Nigeria. Mr. President does not know. We are the ones who know. And then some persons are trying to block us because they know we will never, ever make Nigerian students to fail.
Okay. The president not only came up with the idea of the National Youth Conference, he also came up with the student loan scheme, the NEL fund, that is supposed to also directly address the needs, the financial needs of students who are in tertiary education, tertiary institutions who are unable to meet their financial obligations. Wouldn't you say that that is an administration that has been strategic about the wants and needs of the youth demography?
Very good policies, 100% failure in implementation.
100% failure?
Failure in implementation. The students are not getting, you see, they allow people who are their cronies in government to take charge of all of these things. Mr. President gave out about 20 CNG buses through the senior special assistant to the president on students and youth affairs, Mr. Sunday Ashefon. Those buses are nowhere to be found. I challenge the SSA to the president. And that's the reason why they are blocking people like us, because they know we will never descend so low as to divert what is meant for the ordinary students.
So you were not invited, for instance, to the inauguration of the Presidential Committee organizing the National Youth Conference, or did you decide to abstain?
No, I am still waiting for them to write to me officially as the National President of the National Association of Nigerian Students, because as at the time, to be fair to Mr. President, as at the time the committee was constituted, our election had not taken place. So we won our election. The names of the committee were already approved. So we are waiting for them to write to us officially so that we can participate.
So are you keeping an open mind? Because I like to believe that NANS, with all its membership and followership and what it represents in this country, needs to be a part of a discussion like this, because there are structural issues that need to be discussed about the future of Nigerian students who are going to be the leaders of this country, who are going to be the captains of industry, who are going to shape the future of Nigeria. They need to be at the table discussing issues and ideas and about solutions. Is NANS, under your leadership, open to the idea of participating in whatever capacity in this national conference?
Yes, we are very open. We are very open as long as it is with all sincerity.
And what do you mean with all sincerity?
Because we will not in any way allow those who want to divert funds to negotiate certain things with us. If it is not with sincerity.
Why do you keep saying diverting funds? Do you know something?
I just told you now about 20 CNG buses provided by Mr. President to alleviate the sufferings of Nigerian students. The senior special assistant to the president cannot account for these buses. I have said this several times on air. Why would they keep quiet? These are the characters close to Mr. President. These are the kind of people. You see, that is why the government, the opposition in this government, by those who are in government, is by far more than the opposition by the opposition parties. Is it Mr. President will make appointment, the SGF will not give out letters to those people, undermine the authority of Mr. President? Which government will allow something like this? Sometimes appointments are made, about 6 months later, they cannot resume office, so because people are undermining Mr. President.
Just so we're clear, you're making allegations that you may or may not be able to prove.
No, I don't make empty allegations. That's why I work very hard, and I'm very, very careful about whatever I say. Okay, look at the river basin. They were appointed about 3 months back. Up till now, as I speak to you, up to this moment, they have not resumed. And the Minister for Water Resources has asked them not to resume. And from the credible information we are getting, there is a shady deal going on there in the ministry. Let them come out and counter our claims.
I don't know which of the river basins, but I was in Adamawa State this past month, and I'm well aware that the new managing director, someone who is actually young, in his 30s, has resumed duty and has been taking part in a lot of official activities. But if you don't have faith in the administration, what gives you the confidence that this National Youth Conference, even with your participation, is going to meet its designed objectives?
No, I am not saying I do not have faith in this administration.
I mean, you're saying the president is surrounded by people you don't trust.
People who do not mean well
but clearly
for the country.
The president trusts them. So how do we square this cycle?
The country is very large. These are people he has worked with in the past, and he might not know that these people have changed. People change, especially when they get to positions of authority. That's when you know the actual, the real people, who they really are, only when they get to positions of authority. Maybe because of the way things are, and they know that Mr. President will always be very busy. They try to do some things which are not, which is not making Nigeria to move forward.
We have quite some very reputable people on that committee. One of them being Sam Itodo, who has built quite the career in the civil society space, for instance. And there are very many other exemplary people who have joined this course who say we want to be a part of the change. Out of the government circle, are there other participants who you see and perhaps maybe inspire some confidence in you that, okay, with people like this in the committee, in the organization of this conference, we might get it right?
Yes, Linus Okuri, Dr. Linus Okuri. His presence in the committee is giving us hope, and That's why we want to give them the benefit of doubt. And when they write to us officially, we will participate. Else, we know we'll take our own decision. So,
okay, talk to me about that decision. What would it be? Are you just going to sit on the sidelines and complain and argue about why it is unimportant, or are you going to take a proactive step to be a part of it?
No. We are not going to complain. We have the capacity to mobilize, to do what is right.
So you would undermine the conference?
40 million students. And they are loyal to us, not the kangaroo arrangement by some persons in government who want to undermine our authority. They can never do that.
So if you're not a part of it, you will not let it happen. Is that what you're saying?
Let's see how it goes. We are waiting.
Yeah, I'm saying, President, hypothetically speaking, if you're not part of it, if you're not invited, are you just going to sit at home, or are you going to take
No, we can't sit at home. This is something that affects us. They cannot take...
So you will participate?
We will participate.
Right.
Yes, we will participate.
I'm getting an undertone in your participate. Are you participating in a positive way or participating in a negative
Whatever
way?
Participation is going to be positive, because we are protecting the interest of the over 40 million Nigerian students.
So you don't have an answer yet as to whether, you know, this is going to be a net positive going forward, because you've not been invited to take part in the organization or in any of the talks so far. But if you have to send one clear message to your constituents, to Nigerian students watching this program right now, and, you know, with keen interest about this national conference, what would you like them to take away from what has happened so far?
Well, let them continue to have faith. Let's see how it goes, because a member of the committee, I'm in talk. We are in discussion with one of the members of the committee, and I want to see how that goes. And then we sit down at the executive and take a decision.
Okay. National President of the National Association of Nigerian Students, I beg your pardon, Atiku Isah. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Appreciate you for your insight and for your analysis.
Thank you so much very much for having me.
Right.
I appreciate it.
Right, and that's our show for you tonight. Apologies for our inability to bring the conversation around River State. We'll do so in our next episode of the program, which will be coming your way live and exclusive on Trust TV tomorrow at 8 p.m. Until next time, my name is Abdullahi Ahmed. For myself and the rest of the team, thank you for watching Daily Politics. Good evening.